Trajan's Hollow, a book on an architecture monument and its recreation, by investigating the Trajan column from inside rather from the outside, as most historians did. The author, Joshua Stein, gave us an important lesson in critical architecture, thinking, and analysis. First, we will define what turns an architecture work or a structure into a monument. Then, we will discuss how to perceive them from a different point of view and perceive their hidden secrets. And finally, we will have a quick look on the creative part of the recreation process. The publisher, Oro, were kind enough to give away one free copy to our audience. Stay tuned till the end of the video to know how you could enter this competition. The rules are very simple. Briefly, the Trajan column is a historic architecture structure built by Emperor Trajan around 2000 years ago. It is made of 19 drums stacked on top of a base. The column is mostly appreciated for its narrative relief, indicating the victory of the Roman Empire over Dacia. As mentioned, this video is about the lessons noted rather than the monument itself. And now, let us investigate what is a monument. Monuments are spread all over the touristic, historical, and architecture scenery. They come in different sizes, materials, shapes, and are currently preserved for different purposes. A monument is an artifact that has an age value or an artistic value. It is either a structure that went through different ages and has a particular form that gave it its artistic character and appreciation. A monument has, as well, a dynamic relationship between the monument itself and its documentation. It is unclear whether a monument is first appreciated, then reproduced, or if the reproduced artifacts are the reason behind the monumental characteristics of a certain structure. The reproduction process, especially these days, are wide and vary, from the classical approaches of plaster casting to the digital CNC or 3D printing manufacturing. It is a mix of the past and the present technologies that Joshua Stein used, as we will see later in this video. In any case, we can all agree that a monument is a historical artifact in a constant state of reproduction. Because of this, they tend to appear everywhere in this world. Monuments are actually fragile structures and require much care and attention, which stand in contrast with a common perception of their endurance. The Trajan's Hollow is an unconventional approach for analyzing a historical structure. It does not look into the abstract geometry, proportions, and the visual outlines that so often define our studies of the ancient world. It focuses on the physical reconstruction for certain aspects hidden from the public view, collecting all types of memories and records. People these days are still fascinated that the Trajan column has a hollow interior and can be inhabited from the inside. So, the second lesson we found fascinating in this book is the concept introduced by the author called the Poche. In the architecture industry, a poche simply represents pockets of darker thickness and intensity to separate the interior from the exterior, or two spaces from one another. Just like we draw masonry walls on a plan, poche can also be habitable spaces like the service areas, the servant's room, or even the staircase. These hollow spaces play a major role in any architecture work and coexist with the main project but remain hidden from the public eye. By denying these spaces any public attention, we directly eliminate them from the architecture experience. Any reproduction that does not take into consideration the experiences that can be derived from the monument cannot be considered as a holistic representation. The Trajan's column, for example, is built by overlaying 19 carved marble drums, and even though the seams between each drum is barely visible from the outside, anyone can clearly see it from the inside. And the last lesson we want to discuss from this book is about the actual recreation process and the role that scale plays in it. History is not only preserved, but also recycled and redistributed in different materials. While the recycling process can be done with the same material, or in marble in the case of the Trajan's column, but it can never be recreated with the same scale. One would assume that scale is a linear process, but that is so far from the truth. Reproducing any structure at a similar scale will require different techniques and technologies since the material used will behave in a different manner. Changing the scale does not only impact the material, it will also affect the visitor's experience. Scaling up or down a stairway will make it unusable, so any process to be recreated is aimed at replicating the experience of the original monument, to reconstruct the emotion the person experienced while visiting the original monument. But that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be any new design elements. In fact, introducing design element is something that should happen by default. It is also possible to strip down the shell of the monument and to replace it with another aspect of this structure that is not clearly visible to the audience. In simple terms, this book is showing us that scale, by taking advantage of the latest technological advancements, can be used as a design tool, a tool to rethink our concepts and reassess our solutions. Before the invention of additives and subtractive digital manufacturing techniques such as 3D printing or CNC carving, in addition to the 3D modeling tools, this process was simply not possible. You can read all about the recreation process of Joshua Stein from the Trajan's column, where he altered the material, shape, and the scale of the actual monument, and in this process creating his masterpiece, now displayed at the American University in Rome. And as promised, all you have to do to win a free copy of this book is leave a comment below and write down Trajan's Hollow, like and subscribe to the channel, follow us on our Instagram, the link will be down below. We wish you all the best, thank you so much for remaining till the end of this video, and we will see you in the next one.